Hello and welcome to the special Hackathon live coding happy hour. I'm here with my buddies Dave and Chuck.
Dave?
This is good gracious.
What? Saturday.
We've been doing a lot of stuff already.
I've been doing a lot of stuff. Wow.
I'll be Dave.
We'll just call you Dave.
I just don't like to look that far down. And if I had seen the beard, I would have not made that mistake. Anyway, let's try that again. I'm here with my buddies, Brad and Chuck. Dave is my buddy, though. Wherever you're at, Dave, you're my buddy. Let's do the intros. Chuck.
Hi, I'm Chuck Tomasi, Senior Developer Evangelist for ServiceNow. Been a customer 2008 to 2010. I've been with ServiceNow in various roles from 2010 to today. It's something like 3,600 and some odd days, but who's counting? Having a good time and really excited about the hackathon and what people are creating. Want to see this stuff. And I was thinking about doing a David Attenborough impression, but maybe later.
All right, and we've got some new guests. We're doing the intros right now as y'all come in, so I'll hit y'all as y'all join as well. Brad.
Yeah, Brad Tilton. I am a developer advocate with the developer program at ServiceNow. I've been doing ServiceNow stuff since about 2008 as a customer, partner, trainer, and ServiceNow employee in a bunch of different roles.
Awesome. Brian, introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Brian Olson. I'm an advisory solution developer on the ServiceNow Solution Innovation team. So I write custom apps on top of the ServiceNow platform for pre-sales, demos, and things like that, pushing the art of the possible for our customers. I've been with ServiceNow for about 6.5 years in professional services, and then now on the pre-sale side as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. And Dale.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. Dale Stubblefield. I'm let's see if I get my hand right, solution consultant and app engine specialist. So I've been building custom apps on the platform for a number of years.
Dale's gone high production on us.
Yeah, like I loved it when I saw it earlier.
Background.
Now do the weather forecast. We have a cold front moving in from the north.
And Steven.
Hey everyone, Steve Jefferson, advisory solution consultant. I'm also on the solution innovation team, and just thought I'd come and see all y'all shining faces.
Awesome. And I'm Andrew Barnes, developer advocate at ServiceNow in the platform business unit. That's enough intro for me. So these folks that have joined us have been helping our hackathon teams as gurus today. And it has been going so fun. So we kicked off yesterday, 20 hours ago, roughly. So let us know if you're watching and you're hacking away. Tell us a little bit about your projects in the chat. We'd love to hear about it. If you want to come on and join us and join the conversation, send us a message. Let us know. We'll get you invited to the Zoom. But the hackathon is ongoing. It will continue to go until tomorrow, late into the evening. So another, more than 24 hours left. We've got a countdown timer somewhere, but I don't know what it is. So that's great. So people are working. Let's get some feedback from the gurus on what kind of questions and interesting things that they've seen so far today. And then when we run out of that, Brad and I will talk about what we saw last night from Teams. One of y'all want to start telling us what kind of things you've seen today?
Thanks, Andrew. We had a few people stop by the session today. We got a couple of questions answered on the community, so we've got some good activity going. Trying to figure out how to strategically talk about the teams without revealing any of the fun stuff they're doing. But we have some working on mobile applications. We did some integration assistance for one team from our obviously awesome platform to another one. And then I had some questions around agent workspace and some of the capabilities there. Brian, Steven, is there anything you guys would add to that?
No, it's just cool seeing what some of these teams have kind of come up with as far as their ideas. You know, they're just all over the place, and they're all really cool, really useful. So, you know, obviously we love helping people as much as we can, but at the same time, it's their ideas, and they're awesome. So.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add to that is I really like how they're some people are approaching this from multiple personas, saying, hey, you know, this is you know, I guess we're trying to be safe here, but you know, this is a doctor, and this is the work they need to do, and you know, I'm going to try and put it in this user interface for them. So I like that there's a sort of user experience side to their design of these things.
Yeah, and that's really important. And it's good that you call out that that's useful. So how the users are actually going to consume anything that's put out by a developer. You know, you've got different target audiences when you're building these apps, especially in the ServiceNow platform, because a lot of our stuff is task oriented. And so you've got the people asking for the tasks, and then you got the people fulfilling the tasks. And then you've got different personas that are trying to, you know, manage those people as well. So you've got the managers of the task doers that need interfaces and experiences, and crafting those different experiences is important to get feedback directly from those types of folks and mentally shift when you're crafting these things to be acting as that person and the knowledge that they have and what they really want out of the thing, because sometimes you can get requirements and or ideas of, you know, I'd I'd have them do it this way, but you know, if you slip into their persona, you're like, I I want to be able to do, you know, touch these two things and then be out of here. Like I want to just get the information I need and provide just the bare amount of you know, interaction that I can to get on to my next thing, because I'm not living in your app all the time every day. If you're one of the consumer personas, right? Like I came here to ask for my thing, and now I want to go away quickly. Like,
I heard something, and I'm going to steal this from AJ on our team, who's so good at this. He describes how certain personas need different frequency and depth of accessing things, and he describes the mobile as micro. This is like, hey, I need to pick this up. I need to do this. It's frequent. It's short. You know, I may need to consume some information to make a decision, but it's very different from workspace. And you know, that's you know, I've got my dashboard, I've got my widgets, I've got my agent assist and everything. That's the day to day. And so making sure you take those into account, I was happy to see that people were considering those things.
And what I found in the past is, watching the hackathon, is that a lot of the developers have experience either in that industry or working with people in that industry, whether it's airline refueling or patient care or whatever. Their project has that experience, so they can contribute that. Whereas, you know, I'm sitting here at ServiceNow, and I haven't really been outside of ServiceNow for 10 years unless I'm directly interacting with the customer. Though I love the fact that they're bringing their own experience to that and say, hey, I've worked with patient care. I know what those nurses on the floor need. So we're going to build something to make the nurse's life easier. And this is what they've asked me for in the past. So they incorporate that whole persona into the end result. And that's really why we call it an experience, because that is their life, that is their experience, rather than just a user interface as a solution to it. So I love that. Your team has hit that a number of times, and we cover this in our innovation workshops, whether it's you know, road transportation incidents or whatever. if you don't talk to those people and get down to what they're doing with it, you may not recognize the buttons are too small, or it works better with a dark theme than a light theme. Those
Right.
are critical things for people using that app.
Yeah. And it is so well received when you get different departments who normally don't talk, who normally don't interact, to say like, I didn't even know that was an issue for you. Now I understand that. And I think it's so powerful. I was talking to Dale earlier today, and I was saying, when you get these multiple departments talking to one another, then they start thinking about, hey, could these systems talk to one another? And I think that's how a lot of companies have built out, the way they have, is to say, oh, we haven't talked, so we didn't even think about getting our systems to talk. And when you get them to have, like you were just saying, that experience, it's very eye-opening for a lot of people.
And I love the fact how the requirements and that whole communication thing takes about 5 times longer than the actual implementation. Like, should we have a light theme or a dark theme? To me, it's just one line of CSS. Knock yourself out.
The implementation, it is a whole lot shorter the better your requirements are. So we spend a lot of time on that, and the design decisions that go into those things. So yeah, absolutely. The development time is really, on the smaller, should be on the smaller end of the amount of time a thing takes, because, as you said, collecting those requirements from those different personas and teams, and driving down to what the actual requirement is, not what they asked for, but what the requirement is, to deliver on whatever solution it is. That's where all the magic happens. Implementing that is so much more straightforward when you don't have to do it 50 times because you did it wrong 49 times because you didn't have the right requirements.
Yeah, and when you're making those changes right in front of them and they're seeing it, and then they say, oh, well, don't we also have to do this? And they're like, that's not as important as you think it is. This is the thing that's really important. Yeah, I really love sitting in those moments, being like, oh my gosh, yes, I love this. That minimum lovable product moment. They're like, stop. We can make it so much better later. I need this now.
I love that term, minimum lovable product.
So one of the teams has shared a little bit about what they're doing in the chat, which is the world-class Racken crew is working on doing a demand and supply of key items in a crisis, making a simple to use for the end users to deliver that asset procurement and delivery part. That sounds awesome. Leveraging virtual agent in a portal. Yay. Sounds like
awesome.
they're going to do something interesting with that. Getting the right things to the right place at the right time is not an easy problem. Scheduling is not a fun thing. Have any of y'all ever built a scheduler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially
Okay.
when you have to get in things like last Friday of the month.
Oh yeah.
You and I, Chuck, could probably spend a whole afternoon, remorsing over building a scheduler then, because that is painful.
It's usually where you go for someone else's library who's already built it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone smarter than me has probably done it already. Let's just use that.
The first one I built was, in the 90s though, so there wasn't really a whole lot of libraries you could just go get.
That makes sense.
Nowadays it's, I need to deal with time zones. Okay, well, which language it is? There's probably a library for that. We're JavaScript.
Or a REST API.
Yeah.
Send your date. I'll tell you all the things you want to know about that date.
I can now, import moment.js. All right, now I can deal with time and time zones. Yay! It's so much easier.
With Todoist, just because Todoist has an awesome text parser and returns it back. You could say, every third Friday, and it will tell you what the next date is. Works for
You're
me.
using
Fine, done.
Todoist API is
I'm done. It's tech.
Oh,
It's date
that's
parser.
awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You could probably use Google Calendar for the same thing,
like
right?
an
'Cause they've got a
NLU
pretty good one.
type.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, good artist copy,
Yeah.
great artist steal.
That is fantastic.
Supreme artists use an API for
Use an API.
something else.
Yeah.
It's
What's-
like that. It's
what's
like that
the
Darwin
easiest?
picture,
Yeah.
monkey walking, man standing up thing.
Yeah, that's the legendary artist right there. High five.
Yeah. Is there an API with an open API spec that I can get to and connect to in under 5 minutes that does exactly what I want? Yay, let's do that.
I'm always looking for those.
All the time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the teams are building. Like I'm super looking forward to getting to the judging stage and seeing what they've built. Helping them along the way is a lot of fun, but I like to see those wow moments at the finished product, especially ones that you haven't even heard of during the process. Like they're just silently over there working away, and then you see the submission, and it's like, you did that in how long? Okay, wow, that's awesome. And as things that you haven't even thought of to be able to do with ServiceNow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too, because this is my first time judging, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm a math nerd, so like, am I going to have to review all of them and then set boundaries and then go back and review them again?
You're trying to write a script to do the judging. I see where you're coming from.
It's a judging app.
Yeah, I'm nervous and excited at the same time. So we'll see. But
I hope I gave you enough granularity in the judging. Like you get 20, 0 to 20 for each category. So I should be plenty granular enough.
I received your rubric. I did. I reviewed it, and I'm still in my head about it. So I'll just leave it there.
Earlier on the stream, we built the aggregator for the judges' scores. So we were doing a little hacking earlier, unscripted hacking, which was, I need to tally up the judges' scores. Well, let's automate that. So I built it in Flow Designer, but in hindsight, I would not have. I love Flow Designer. Don't be confused. Flow Designer is awesome. But there's some things that it is not yet capable of doing in a very easy manner. And adding up numbers across records is one of those things right now.
Yeah.
Because there's no scratch space. There's nowhere to store your summation.
Right.
So you could loop through the records and you could get the values, but then you can't, and you can add things, but you can't add things within, because you don't have a place to store it. So you're looping through and you're changing, but you don't have any way to sum them together. So I just use Glide Aggregate. It's fine.
We'll get there.
Oh yeah. I mean, Flow Designer continuously adds new things and makes me happy every time it does. The last time we imported an API with Open API, it's just so much fun. Like,
yeah. The other thing that's fun to watch on the hackathon is how quickly people have picked up and implemented these skills. Some of the people I saw in the last year, several years before, were, I've been using the platform for 6 months, and they're part of this team that cranks out this wonderful stuff. How did you do that? Why? They're making me feel stupid. I don't know that I'd be able to do that in 6 months.
There are some folks leveraging the Now experience that are building.
Oh yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Stuff right now, and there isn't 6 months of history to that. So
There's no Google
know.
posts out there. You can't just go search and see what
It's not
somebody
on
else
Stack
did.
Overflow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no Stack Overflow for that right now. So anybody doing that is, cutting their teeth on the edge there, which is great to see. We'll see some more of those. Will be a lot more of that next year at the hackathon. But
Yeah, and to my point, it's not always the people that have been doing development for 30 years that are jumping into the workspace stuff. It's like, these are people who may not even been doing software development a few years ago, and they're cutting their teeth on, like you say, on these new technologies. I'm like, wow, I wish I could turn my ship that fast these days.
yeah, like someone
Node and
who's
NPM
only
and all
been
this other stuff. Yeah.
on ServiceNow for 3 months, but has been doing web component building for the last 2 years to come over and work on the now experience web component stuff. They'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
I know that I speak this language. These are all familiar constructs to me. And I opened it up for the first time, and I know Brad, we're like, what does this
Exactly.
do?
We just haven't been trained
Like,
in that style.
I'm
yet.
familiar with all the words you used, but I don't know what your sentence means yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, so that's always fun.
That's how I felt with Service Portal for about the first 6 months, and that's probably how we'll be with workspace components for a while. It's like, yeah, I'm just got to get my head around it again.
So, do we want to? I think we've covered the guru perspective. Do we want to do some building? What do you guys want to do? I'm good to do some building. If somebody else wants to do some building, I already did several hours today. I can do some more. I'm a developer. I can do some more. I can do some more building.
We'll offer the new guys.
Yeah. Any of you guys want to?
Dale, Steven, Brian?
No,
Anything?
Look at the shocked faces. I love it. They're like, you want me to
Wasn't
do
prepared
what?
for that.
I didn't commit to that.
I'm already cutting into the time where I'm supposed to be doing yard work, so I'm on borrowed time as it is.
Yeah.
So I'm
Our
getting
real
hungry.
boss,
I think it's lunchtime for me. So.
I was thinking of developing a
Boss over
unique
boss.
sandwich in the kitchen.
A unique sandwich.
Sandwich API.
All right. Well, then I think we'll let you fine gurus go and about your day. You've already put in some work hours here on Saturday helping out these hackathon teams. So Dale, Brian, Steven, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for helping the hackathon teams.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you in the future.
That's
Our
great.
pleasure.
Good luck, everyone.
Really,
Yeah.
thanks
Thank
for
you
having
guys.
Y'all stay well and enjoy.
Thanks.
We're gonna have to come up with a live coding hour sandwich or something. The
A
full
sandwich.
stack. We'll call it the full stack.
Ooh, the full stack.
Ooh, well done.
That was
Chuck.
good, Chuck. You get a gold star on that one.
Wow,
That's a
yeah.
good one.
It'll go with our
The full stack.
our live coding happy hour green drink we're gonna do for the CreatorCon.
What are you? You look like you had the same beer as yesterday, Brad.
It is. I've had this beer on the show in the past, but this
Mhm.
is a different one than yesterday. It's the
Oh,
St.
that was
Arnold's
last Friday's then.
Summer Pills, because
So
it's basically
That was
summer.
a week ago, right?
Mhm.
I remember the rainbow colors.
Yes.
I got some new beers yesterday. This is a Asheville beer, so local here to
Oh.
North Carolina.
Nice.
Midnight Summit.
Highlands Brewing in Asheville, and it's Midnight Summit. It's a vanilla milk stout. It's a little
Oh, that sounds really good right now.
like I wasn't gonna grab anything that heavy. I was gonna go like the Gaelic ale from the same brewery, but when I reached into the thing, I pulled it out and I read it, and I was like, "Well, I don't want to put you back now. You're not what I was gonna get." Yeah, because it was a variety case. I couldn't put it back. I was reaching for a Gaelic and got a stout and said, "Nah, I'm gonna leave it." Who wants to pull open a ServiceNow instance and do some bashing up against it?
Do I have anything
So-
to bash? Do you?
So
have
we've
anything?
got We've got a couple of questions in the chat. We
Oh,
could go
good.
through it. I think one of them would be pretty good. So there's a question that says, how do I redirect to service portal from a UI action? And that seems like something we could try
I've done it from a module.
ourselves.
Are you looking to open portal like in a separate tab? What's the goal here?
It looks like they want to update a record, and then after the record is updated, redirect to service portal. They're trying to use set redirect URL.
That should work. We're just going to put the URL in.
Redirect to a portal page from a UI action. Set direct is not working on portal.
Okay,
the UI action is
on the
in
portal form.
Yeah, that's a different situation.
So yeah,
there is
getting to the portal from a UI action is fun. It wouldn't have been too tricky, but getting the UI action to reload the form you're on in portal on portal. I've not done that. I don't
think that portal supports now that I'm thinking about that. Yeah, we could take a look at it for sure. There's some other questions. One of them is actually, let's jump into a share. I'll share, and we can start with the first question, which is, if I'm new to ServiceNow, how do I get started?
Ooh,
excellent question.
Excellent question.
And we happen to have a learning plan that is called New to ServiceNow, so we'll show that.
Bring it on, boss.
All right. I'm going to share here. All right, so we should see my developer portal here. And all right, so this is, let me get out of full screen so you guys can see the URL bar. All right, so at developer.servicenow.com, we have the newly designed developer portal. We have our little video here. If you haven't watched it and you want to find out more about the developer program, you can find that there. But if you want to learn more
oh my God, we haven't played that on the show yet.
The video
that just released on like Thursday.
I haven't seen
that. All right,
let's play it.
It's cool.
You're gonna need to share, probably reshare with audio if you're gonna do that, though, Brad.
All right. Let's do what I'm doing, and then we'll do that.
We'll come back to that, though.
Yeah. So if I go to learn, I have some different options here. We've got the overview of learning, but what I'm interested in is this learning plan. So we have a lot of learning content on the developer portal. And if I go into learning plans, we have some information here. And if I scroll down, we've got some different learning plans. And what the learning plans are is they're basically just a path that contains a lot of our different training that exists on the service, or on the developer portal, not the service portal. So we have courses, and then courses have modules in them, and learning plans are made up of multiple courses. So one of them is called New to ServiceNow, and this is a great place to get started if you are new to developing on ServiceNow, because it goes through some basics. We have some things that are called, some elements that are called like navigation and lists and forms that really make up the basics of the platform. And then it really takes you through all sorts of things that you need to know in ServiceNow. So this is a great place to get started, new to ServiceNow. And then also in the Learn menu, you can look specifically at some of those courses. So if you knew you wanted to learn about Service Portal or scripting, you could get in there. And then we also have our Now Learning, which is not on the developer site, but it's our Now Learning overall. And that has, in-person, virtual training, self-paced training, all sorts of things from our training team.
And as a plug, that's also where we're extending, or we're doing our CSA, Certified System Administrator training for free. I believe it's through June now. We had originally were going to go through March, but the current situation has offered us an option to extend that. So
yeah, and
if you're looking to get CSA certified at no cost, you can go over to Now Learning.
And I think I saw that it was Andy Ho on Twitter said that the course is always free, and it's the certification that's free until the end of June.
Good point.
So the course will always be free. But you can also get certified for free right now. All right.
I got mine.
So I guess let's pop into an instance and see. Let's see if that works. Hey, let's pop into an instance and look at redirecting in the service portal.
Sounds like fun.
So we're going to start by going to a form. So let's say if we can ask a clarification question to head first S now, whose question was, how do you redirect to portal page from a UI action? The set redirect URL doesn't work on portal. Where are you trying to run that? Is that on a form or on a record producer? I'm assuming since it says UI action, we're talking about an existing form. Let's see if we can get a clarification there.
If you just create a regular UI action, is it going to show up automatically on like the normal form?
I believe it can. So let's look at an incident here. This is not the. Let's find one that has the form.
Yeah.
The form widget. Do I have a not incident? Well, let's see if we can open up an incident in the form widget. If I remember how to do this. Is this going to work?
Got to get the page and the widget.
I think the page is called form, but we're going to see. It's loading. Hey.
Nice.
So just creating.
I remember some
action.
things.
Nice.
So we have a save action right now. It looks like that is the only thing we have on.
Yeah, incident clearly has more UI actions that would be on the form at this point.
Not too many more. They have a lot of contextual ones on the incident form. There aren't a lot of.
Okay, so there's save, create outage, create problem.
Yeah, here's all the
those are the contextual ones.
Let's use this open in platform. Hopefully this opens a new tab. It did.
And then
and I have to have the service portal on the right because I just
that's how you live.
Yep. So we have resolve, update, and delete.
I have idiosyncrasies about tab order too.
I legitimately cannot have the service portal form on the right. It will ruin my day. So we've got just the save button here. And then here we don't even have a save button. Save is in the
interesting
context menu.
Let's go look at the UI action list here from incident and see if the configurations there from the list view look like
maybe there's
that's jumping out.
It's like a show on
like show on portal kind of.
Yeah.
A UI type or something. Keep going.
Show insert multiple update query workspace.
And we could do this a whole lot easier if we just Googled it, but we're working through the process of how to recreate the solution, not just getting the solution.
Let's
find the correct save one. And then we can get on board with the
So no UI policies have a UI type in them.
I have a suspicion that this is
I think that's built into the
It's a widget. Special one.
Let's look. So I'm going to control right click and look at this widget in the widget editor. And we can see
one of my favorite features.
Yeah, we can see if that's a thing. I don't know. The form widget does have some parts of it that you can't see from the instance. So hopefully this is not one of them.
NG repeat button.
related
primary action,
lists.
submit, get UI action. There is a footer.
Here. I'm going to move back over. So the footer, so I'm also going to go and inspect this and see where on the page we are. So it is obviously inside of the panel.
There's a button.
But it is
There's
in the
panel footer.
panel footer, right? Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's below the list. All right, so let's go back here. So
There it
here's
is.
the panel footer.
Yep.
Let's get rid
So
of the
it should
client
live in there if we're going to see it. If it's seeable from this
So submit,
primary
trigger
submit.
action, get primary action. We're going to keep scrolling. Save button suffix.
That was the
Okay, so
command.
it is save.
Yeah, it is save.
All right, so this is a thing that is unique to Service Portal. This will not show up on the regular form. So I see this other thing though. This looks like it could be what we want.
Was that in an NG repeat?
It did look like it. Yeah, action and get
NG
UI
repeat
actions
is a button.
So
we should find where did
UI actions. Yeah.
your client script back?
Oh, it's not in data. Where would we get this?
It looks like it's calling a function called get UI actions. Let's check the client script.
Well,
I haven't done that style of an NG repeat yet. I've always done mine out of data.
Yeah, me too. I guess we can search.
Get button class. There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Nice. So what's it looking for?
Hey, Brad, I know that it's really hard on Service Portal stuff. Could you blow it up just a little bit?
I can definitely do that.
And probably kill the server side pane.
Well, sir, we may need that in a second because it looks like this is digging down into data, and server may.
We'll toggle when it is because it's just there's so limited real estate to see this stuff.
That's where VS Code would help.
All right. So we have our get UI actions. So type.
Okay. And there's another scope variable called disable UI actions. So we may be hitting that.
So it did pass in a type. Let's go back and see.
Type
was a button?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Return scope.data.f UI actions filter. And we're going to pass oh, we're not passing that.
Says if the action's not primary,
not the primary, and is a button,
then use it. Okay.
That is a crazy condition.
But we have some buttons.
Right. I'm wondering if that first line, if scope.data is disabled UI actions right there on 60 is hitting us. Are we falling into that condition?
Yeah.
So where is disable UI action set in the server?
Gotta be.
It says true. It says true.
No, it says it's going to take it from options.
Yes, from options. I was just seeing the true part, and I was like, "Oh, it's true."
Okay, so
do we? So we have to tell it
that we don't want to disable actions. So let's check. Go back to your form and see if the options have it disabled or not.
All right. So, let's get rid of this and let's look at
options.
Is this going to give us? Yeah, we want the instance
options.
Well,
they are false. Not. Darn. That would have been easy. Okay.
So let's
could
just
we
to
oh, we can't do it.
let's just create a new UI action and
Okay.
tell it to be a form button.
Okay.
And then we'll call it I am a button.
I'm a button.
Developer imagination.
That's all we're going to tell it, I think. No roles, no conditions,
Nope. Yeah,
form
just
button.
is a button.
Make it red just for fun. Oh, wait. No, there was a condition. Hold on. Go back. There was a condition in the code that said something about primary, wasn't it?
Yeah. It did say something about being the primary button.
Yeah, I think it
Oh,
was
that could be
saying
a styling.
primary.
I think that's a styling thing, right?
Okay.
Because the primary gives you green, destructive
green,
would be
yep.
red.
But I thought the condition
Well-
said it's not primary and it is a
Yeah, I
something
don't
is
know.
I think it said not primary.
right.
It
So
did,
leave that
yeah.
off.
All right.
Okay.
Submit it. Reload it. Try it out. It's worth a shot.
And you had insert on, so it's right kind. Hate it when that.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm a button. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm a button. We're gonna have to give
That
it a
was
happy
easy.
face.
That was easy.
I am a button.
So
So
now
now
UI action
we have to tell it to redirect.
Yes.
That was the first part.
So now we add in, or we just make one of the. Let's make one of the ones that does a redirect, a form button. So go grab one of the UI actions that does a redirect and make it a form button, and then we'll move on from there.
All right. So let's.
So
What
yeah,
are you looking
Dri-
for, Andrew?
in
example?
script like redirect or
Yep,
what?
just-
I
Okay.
think that'll work. But I have to spell redirect right as part of the.
I mean, that seems unnecessary. It
There
knew
we
what you
go.
Where's our
wanted.
artificial intelligence?
It knew what you wanted.
It's a bunch of them.
You're looking for the syntax of action.set redirect URL?
Yeah, so I wanted a button that did that already, and we're just
Okay.
going to toggle it, or a UI action that did that, and we're going to make that a button, and then
Okay.
we'll try it out.
So how about create
99% of them are probably going to go to current.
incident state?
Well,
That's
if
on
they're going to go to
task.
current, add URL. Set redirect URL as your filter.
Yeah.
Then
He's got it.
no,
it's
it
not.
said
But I'm
Yeah.
guessing create to
redirect
do or create
URL.
change are going to take you to that new record. But a lot of them use a glide record as an argument. You're looking for something that adds more of a URL as an argument.
I think create problem
takes
Okay.
you to the problem record.
could work. So
No, it takes you back to. Oh, it does both. It's redirects to problem and return to current. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, make that a button.
is it going to show up for us? Well, let's do this. Create problem. It will show up.
It will. There you go. I was going to say turn the context off because you often run into problems if you try to put them in both places.
So it's going to take us to problem. So my theory is that it takes us to the platform view of the
View.
problem, or it doesn't do anything because we're in service portal. Wait, it did not. Oh, I didn't refresh. Huh?
and that for the folks at home is the right kind of thing, which is determine what you think it's going to do before you press it. I think it will take us to the platform view of the problem.
I think it's going to take us to either we're going to stay on this record or go to the portal homepage.
I think we're going to hit some kind of crazy, like I can't get there. So
All right, here we go.
you're going to get an error.
Problems created.
Problem created.
Updated the
Stayed
local
here.
record
It
and stayed
updated
there.
you.
We didn't refresh the page.
But but it did
Right.
update the page.
It updated the page. You
It
now
did
have a problem
update the
record.
page. Yep, because we have a problem
And
record.
it took away the
And
UI
our
action
button
because it
went
says
away.
you can't do that twice. Okay.
But it could have done that with, I mean, that's could have done that
Conditional,
with like
yeah.
record watcher.
So now we need to dive into
I think
how to
we may
actually
have
solve
to-
the problem.
we may have to Google it.
One of the suggestions from the Google is, and in this case, our Google is Kalai, says inject $ location.
Can we do that from the UI action? I think that's
I
the
don't
like
think so.
we could
That's a-
hack up widgets and do this pretty easy, but I
yeah,
don't think we want to do that.
We need some way in the UI action to
unless we-
determine, are we on a portal page or are we on a standard UI page? Is there a way to determine which UI you're in so you can do the appropriate redirect? Would the redirect even work? So Brad, as an experiment, let's go down to your I am a button and put an action.set redirect in there that goes to like /sp to see if we can get us back to the home page. Can we do a portal to portal redirect?
I don't think redirect applies in portal, right? Because this is going
Right.
to happen on the server and it's going to put something into our navigation stack, right?
Right.
So we're submitting it and whatever we get back is where we're going to go. And then in service portal, we're not actually like changing, we're never changing pages. We're just getting, it's the record watcher is grabbing some new info.
Right. Which is Kalai's suggestion that we got to do this possibly with like an on-click event or something.
Yeah. I think we have to force it to refresh somehow. Let's, I'm ready to search on the community for this. So let's go service portal. We'll give it a service now.
November. That one might be promising. To be nice, then I wouldn't have to make a button for every widget I've got.
Ugh, the one I'm looking at like sets the URL in the portal, and whoa, I'm not.
Yeah, but that's not going to work.
I'm not doing that.
We're using the standard form widget.
I wonder if I would do something like, when we clicked it, we had some messages pop up. I think you could tell the user, hey, I did a thing. If you want to go see what happened, click this link inside of the info message. Can we put a link in an info message?
Yes.
Yes.
So what if we try that?
I think you're still going to get into the same situation because you're going to, if the UI action is used in two different interfaces, it's going to go to the wrong place in one of them.
Yes, you could say. So we might want to say, let's see if this is doable.
I see a problem with that UI action. Shame on somebody on line 6. They should have passed an array as the second argument of GS get message. They did not. Anyway, that's not our problem. It's just somebody not following the API properly. Somehow it worked.
So let's play with our button.
That's an interesting. I was just noticing it said, look at line 5. Have you ever done that? Gotten a result out of current.update?
Yes, it's a sysid.
I've never thought about that. I knew that insert returned to sysid, but I'd never noticed that update did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Doing two things at once. Anytime I want a sysid, I usually go for get unique value.
Oh, I messed that up. Let's go. Oh, looks like the team fixed it
The team.
in the chat.
What were they
It's,
fixing?
Head
Don't-
first now.
They fixed it and they told us to check out their app when it's done. That was well done. Like,
Yeah.
you got me. That was good. We should check out how you did it. That's funny. I like it. Making me laugh counts for points. Like, that's funny.
I still want ours to work.
I do too. Hilariously, I found the Hi article that says, yeah, redirect doesn't work.
So, I mean, I think the solution is doing something in the widgets.
That's the only thing I've seen so far, is that, you pass in, you need to handle that in the client scripting of the widget.
I just, this form widget is just really dangerous to mess with. I mean, you have to copy it, obviously, because it's read only, but this is a really, base widget that drives a lot of service portal stuff. So if you copy it and change it, I think you're definitely taking on some risk there. So my idea here is do something like click. So this is probably not going to work, but
Good.
wow. So let's just redirect to Google. All right, so I think when we click the button, we should get an info message, and let's see if it renders our HTML.
Okay.
It does.
Yeah, I've done that before. It's fun.
Okay.
So that's a possible solution there.
So we could possibly do something like grab the current location and, so to detect essentially which service portal we're in, and then inject our destination into that same, because what you don't want to do is switch which portal they're in, because a lot of places have multiple portals. And so you'd want to detect which one they're in.
Not necessarily. You could make your it will stay in the same portal as long as you're in that portal. Your redirection can start at the question mark. Your relative URL can start as far out as question mark, say question mark ID.
Right, but the way that he just did that
page.
wasn't a relative URL. It was a link.
Yeah,
the way that he did
for that one.
Right.
Yeah, I was talking about doing it with that method that Brad was doing. You need to give it the whole path.
No,
so
you don't want to give it the full path if you're going to another portal page. You give it the
what if we want to go to
be stuck on dev or prod? You could just say question mark ID equals some other page.
Let's say, I think catalog
SE request or something.
That's oops. This is definitely a CMS page, but I think it may also be a service portal page.
Look at our list of portal pages.
I'm a button. Oh, nice.
So it did
Four,
sort of
at least.
work.
Yeah, but it stayed on the right portal.
It stayed on the right portal. So
Yep.
it did work the way you thought, Chuck. Yeah, so I was.
You guys have fun.
I do that all the time. Only I usually do it with, the dollar location thing.
The 404 challenge. Like, I think we need to load like the 10 best 404s into instances for everybody and just rotates through them. Like, you randomly get one of those 10 when you get the 404 page. Like, we should do that. We should make that a share item.
Yeah.
Load them up.
Is a randomizer for 404s and have 10 of them in that share item that it'll rotate through to play the different 404 games. I'm throwing that in our backlog.
How are you going to randomize it? Because it's tied to the portal record. It's a reference field to say which page would you like to use?
I'm going to use the 404 page. I just load a different, like,
You could have the page that you're referencing do the randomizing and then redirect.
Okay,
you
so you'd have
Yeah.
to write a page
Yeah.
that redirects to the random.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 404 would have to be the randomizer page, and then the
Yep.
destination would be the
Yeah.
games.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Like,
Sounds
that'd
like
be
a-
fun. That's the kind of portal thing I would actually do.
There's a weekend gone.
That's my level of fun with portals is, making the 404 page more fun. Like, why not? So
All right.
that's that one. And that was
So-
the how to get started.
That
Let's see,
was, yeah, we did how to get started. And then this was the sort of the redirect. So we know it's possible to do it by updating widgets or copying and customizing widgets. This was a possible alternative, which is not the exact requirement, but probably achieves the same or something very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here because I need to step away for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've got
Thanks.
meat stuff to do with my smoker. So I'll be back.
All
A
right.
little bit of envy going on here.
I should probably check on mine, but I'll do it, at a different periodicity as Brad.
All right, we'll see Brad in a bit.
Yep.
What's next,
So-
Chief?
So that was fun. So the next thing is we could pick back up where I was working before we ended the stream, right before we started again, which was creating a file in GitHub via API from our ServiceNow instance.
Okay. How far did you get on that?
No, nowhere essentially. Like
Okay. Where'd you get stuck?
and that we were about to stream in 40 minutes, and
Okay.
we just stopped streaming.
How are you
paused.
thinking about handling the authentication? Are you going to do an API key for the app, or are you going to do like GitHub Companion where you get the user's token?
I'll probably start it with a user's token.
Okay.
But since I'm only going to use one user the whole time, we did get that far to decide we didn't want it to be individual users because we're not genericizing this. We're doing this for us, a use case,
Okay.
which is we want to create stub blog entries based off of Artifact Manager. And the reason for that is because right now, well, the root reason, and here, let me go ahead and share because this will make more sense to like you'll get it because you've seen Artifact Manager, but for everybody else.
Because I was trying to think of something similar that I wanted to do like GitHub Companion where it has a token per user in another application I'm working on. But I could not reverse engineer that well enough to say, that's what we did. We need this field on sys user, and then the API goes and does this first. It was, I got wound around the OAuth axle again, but I'd like to implement that same kind of thing for, I don't know, Facebook, Spotify, just something that uses OAuth 2.0 that says, all right, I've authenticated Andrew. Whatever he does from here on out is Andrew as Andrew. Let's use his credentials. But if Chuck logs in, he's going to start talking to Chuck's Twitter account or spot. I'm not using Twitter because I just can't stand OAuth 1.0.
I was catching up on a Twitch chat. So Harry over there was giving us some good information on how to do the UI action redirect.
Good. I should be watching that also.
And it was hiding behind the YouTube one because I made the YouTube one bigger because there were so many comments. So I hit it. My bad. So So I was in the program. Yeah. So we were in our artifact manager. Yeah. And what was it? Not Friday, but the week before, we did the automation for the live stream. When a video or live stream is published to YouTube, we were updating the artifact in our instance. Even though we're using our instance to create some of them, we're still trying to gather information from what happens at the source here, which is YouTube, is the authoritative source. And so when something happens there, we wanted to sync it back down, and we were having some mismatch. So we fixed that. And I thought, well, why don't we do the same for the blog? Because we're managing our blog backlog here and process for the blog, but we weren't, and we're collecting data from the blog on the views. But the way we're doing that right now is based off the published URL. So here's your article from earlier last week, like 10 days ago. No, more recent than that. Anyway,
Tuesday, I think it was.
Very recently. And it is, for example, collecting the view count. But the way it does that is based off this published URL. And what I was telling Brad earlier is I would like for when a blog gets published for it to update that field here. But in order to do that, I need some unique key, right? To know that this article here is associated with this portion of it. And let me zoom in on this.
Kind of like a YouTube video ID.
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
But you've got in that /post/.
So this is my essentially unique identifier without the slash part there, but for this, but I don't have that anywhere in this artifact. And when I'm managing this from the backlog, those they don't exist yet.
Okay.
And we typically generate them from the title. So when we're creating these, we get them from the title usually. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I generate that stub from here? So automate the creation of the article stub in our GitHub repository from the artifact entry here in the blog. And then I'll know what it is because I'll have created it from here, kind of like we do with the YouTube, right? Is we create it from here, and then that gives us that ID, and now we can do sync things with it because we have that ID. And so that was the thought process, was if I'm creating them from here, then I'll have them because I'm creating them. So I'll definitely have them. The other option was to, and that's like option A. Option B is to do sort of what we're doing with YouTube, which is we're just retrieving them all, storing them in a separate table than the artifact table, and then trying to see if we can match up with one. And then that would involve us putting in the ID somewhere into the artifact record so that it could, sync on those, or actually using the titles and matching them up, because when we're managing these in the backlog is not usually the public facing title. So for example, here on yours, that is not the public facing title we chose. It was this instead. And so if we had that title here, we could sync on that, but that's not how we do it. So we could change the process, or we could change the tool.
Because we're developers, you know which way we're going to go.
We're probably going to change the tool because, I can manage the backlog. Not everything that's in the backlog gets published, right? And so I don't want to spend time thinking of a nice public facing name of a thing if it's not ever actually going to get published.
Okay.
that's kind of why I don't want to adjust the process. It's because I don't want to spend time on a title on an article I'm never going to write.
Well, and once it's published, you could always go and get the correct article title
Right.
and pump it back in here.
Yeah.
Make it sort of self-correcting. You could call this, artichokes. And then once it's really published, you go, oh, well, that's not the title. It's know before you go. So let's update that.
I think not in this instance, but I have GitHub Companion in our dev instance already. And so we got into creating a flow. And then we were looking at the GitHub APIs and seeing what to do. And then I thought when we went on break, I was like, well, why don't I just go look to see how it's done with the GitHub Companion? Because I'm already like, I added some enhancements to GitHub Companion. And so I already have code here for managing files. It's retrieving them for the most part, but the process should be fairly similar. And where was I managing that from? It's all in script includes. I should probably just go to the script include. Script includes. So the GitHub utils is probably in this file util one. Let's see one. That is not it. All right. Parse diff. Yeah, so this is the utility to do stuff after it's retrieved. Maybe it's GitHub client. This is beefy enough to be the right one. This is what I was looking for, was 350 lines of code.
Not sure what I'm looking for, but I know it's big.
I'm not sure where it's stored, but I know it's not a short one because I know I've written 50 lines in the script include in which I know I'm going to work in, and I didn't do the bulk of the commits. So create files for pull request. So GitHub utils, get files. So that's local stuff. Stringify those files. Parse the diff. GitHub companion files. That's creating the file locally. So that's looping through a retrieved one. Let's see. Let's just get our function names and see. Let's dive in from there.
We need a collapse all.
I was just thinking that would be really handy right about now. It's just, can I get a collapse all? That's the token handling.
That's the part I got to look at.
Get files pull request. I think we were just looking at this one, but this might be the outbound REST message that I need. So given an owner, a repo, and a pull, go retrieve that. Yeah, this looks like what I'm looking for. So that is an outbound REST message. So REST message.
Brad's back.
I'm back.
He's back.
We looking at our artifact manager to get blog?
We are, because that's what we had in the hopper.
Yeah.
It takes too much effort to think of something else to work on. So that was it. So yeah, the GitHub endpoint here. And we were doing, what was that? Get files for pull requests. So we've got comment, close. So these are some outbound ones. So those will be handy. So the posts and patch, subscribe the webhooks, those might be useful things to do, to take a look at. So fork a repo is probably similar in structure. Nope, there's not even any variables for that one. Let's do comment. And it says, give me a pull request and your comment, and then I'll do the business. All right, man. That's pretty straightforward. Let's see if we got anything more complex in here. Not the token, so close PR. That one is probably as simple as well. All right. Well, looks like these are pretty straightforward. These previous ones that have been built in this companion tools. So Brad, what I was doing was looking at GitHub Companion and seeing how we're interacting with the GitHub APIs to retrieve files and to push back the PRs and the comments, so that I could have some sense of the structure. For example, it proved the point that I didn't need the v3 in the URL, because it's just a default. And when you've already built a thing, just go look at it. Reading through the APIs is not as good as reading through an example in the system you already have for some things. So that looks pretty okay. Let's take a look at let's look at the structure of one of these that is a put in the script include. What's this one's called? Close PR. Let's look for close PR in here. So yeah, setting the owner repo pull number, sticking the body in the state in the body. All right. Well, that doesn't seem too crazy. Into Flow Designer we go. And I don't know about you. I don't intend on completing this today. And I know I need to go check on my meat actually really soon. So I might hand over the reins for a bit in a minute to someone else.
All right.
Sure.
Brad, how long you want to go today for this session? We might pick up some later, but
I think we're scheduled for another 45 minutes, which sounds fine to me.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Let's see. And we were creating an action. I don't even think we saved. No, we did. There it is. Not that there's anything in here. Hilariously, we probably have we do.
Oh, nice.
We've got a connection to GitHub already. Hilariously, it doesn't have a base URL in there though, because it's just a credential. It's not a connection. Well, it's marked as both. Really? It's both. I'm probably not sharing this pop-up window.
Nope.
Sorry. But I was just inspecting that record, and it is a connection and credential type record. But no base. It didn't fill that out. So if we're going to leverage that, we're going to have to add in the base. So we've got, let's go ahead and do that. Connection credentials. Let's make a new one. Yeah, this doesn't even have any credentials stored. Let's make a new one. Blog, GitHub. Yes. I don't know why you don't tell me before I submit.
I know, that drives me nuts.
Tell me before I submit, buddy. Why are you angry with me? Here, I'll just create one. It's fine.
Do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. This is, what are we going to call this? Blog connection. Blog GitHub. Git connection. And then we are going to use the copy. It's hard to make typos when you copy paste.
But it's easy to copy mistakes.
You know the number of times that typos haven't bitten me because I do a copy and paste is really high. I'm like, in my workshop, or no, in the hackathon instance, one of the things I was building, I spelled one of the names wrong. Never was a problem because I just copied and pasted it every time after that. Didn't even notice it until like an hour later. I'd used it like 8 times and they were all spelled exactly the same, exactly wrong spelling of a word.
Yeah, but then you don't get to beat your head against the wall for 2 hours and then realize that there was a letter missing. Where's the fun in that?
Where's the fun in that? So this is going to be an OAuth credential. Actually, was there a no, it'd have been really cool if there was a GitHub type credential there.
Oh, you're looking at the credential templates? We're not seeing it.
Oh, that pop-up window again. So I'm just creating a credential.
We can hear you clicking though, so.
And waving your Harry Potter wand around.
Yeah, because the mouse, you can see the mouse, but you can't see the interaction. So I didn't actually finish the steps for that credential yet. But
Authenticus credentially.
There's at least something in there now so that we can reference it in Flow Designer so that we can have the base URL.
Oh, no. Reload time?
No, it was there.
Oh, okay.
All right. We're going to build this manually. That's the resource path we want. I think I closed the GitHub create file API GitHub page. And let's see.
I was watching this channel this morning.
So let's see. We've got parameters. We definitely need the message, the committer, message and committer for sure. Message. Committer. Did I spell that right? I don't know how to spell words.
2 M's, 2 T's.
I know how to paste them though. And I'm going to have to make that a complex object, right? Because I need to pass it these. Yeah. And then the content is going to be separate. Okay. So I need to create a pre-step to get that It's not a payload builder because I'm not building a payload. So it'll just be a script step, I guess. Create objects for rest step. So the first thing we need to do is create our committer object, I guess. We want something like this over here. All right. Committer. Y'all help me out today. I'm feeling not the brightest. So any feedback on this stuff, let me know. So we need to, in our committer, we need.
Do you want committer to be an object?
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
it right.
Curly's.
Oh,
Curly's, not
curly's.
squaries.
I was like, yes, I want it to be an object. What do you mean? Yes, it's definitely an object.
Thank you for the notification that you weren't feeling too bright. You get a pass on that one.
That was well timed, right? I said that
Yeah.
right before, right before needing the system. Like, yeah, of course it's an object. All
Play
right.
that off like you were just.
Yeah, that was an
prompting
example,
us.
right? Like that was
Yeah.
planned.
So what do you want to set for the values of name and email?
That's a
Where are
really
they
good
coming from?
question.
We do the instance.
What do you mean? The name be the instance, like the actual URL of the instance?
Yeah, like, so this name and email, this is just going to show up in the commit, right? It doesn't actually have to be like, it's not what we're authenticating with necessarily.
It could be ServiceNow dev program, something generic every time, or do you want it to be the author or?
So I guess, does it need to be like an actual GitHub
I'm not
account?
sure. I'm not sure if it is required or not, or if it'll just be happy with the token. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're, if when you try and commit it, does it check whether that's you or not?
Or just a GitHub account in general, right? Like, does it have to be?
That would be even worse, right? Than random acceptance of a string
true.
as saying that it was someone else who did this would be, that doesn't seem like GitHub would allow that.
I
Good
do with
point.
email headers all the time.
That's email headers.
Should we make it just the ServiceNow dev program?
Yeah, let's do that for now.
Try it.
We'll just put the dev program's name in there. ServiceNow dev program. Yeah, with an M. And switch over to that. So how do I, that's an org, not a user.
It's in your profile.
Whatever. I'm going to send it me for now.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do for now. We want it to be me.
You're in charge.
It should be. And I don't know which email that is.
It seemed like the name was a display type name, right? Because it had a space in it.
Oh, yeah. It would be Andrew Space Barnes.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm looking for what my email is for my account because I have no idea what it is.
Hey, I just received a bow tie from Amazon.
Nice.
You're running low?
No, fan the palette again.
Nice,
low.
Brad.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'm wearing them out faster than I can buy them.
All right, and that window can come back now. And we'll throw that in there, and we'll say this is. Yeah, see, I'm struggling to spell my name right. Like,
That is a bad day.
It might be time for me to take a break. I'm spelling my own name wrong here. All right, so I want committer to contain name and email.
Yeah, so take out line 6.
So we just get rid of line 6.
And right up to that first bracket.
And then we add
close
a
it with a
semicolon here.
Now he's in the groove.
And what else object-wise do we need for this thing?
Outputs.
Didn't look like we need much
Yeah.
else.
Do you want to? How was your file getting base 64 encoded?
Yeah, that's the next problem. I was avoiding that one so far.
And does it need contents? Is the other? Does it need to have any contents?
Well, content is the 64. Like that is that's your file.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, can we just create an empty index.html?
Oh,
yes. I mean, that's
So
my
doesn't-
plan is to create an
Okay.
empty one, but we'd still need to base encode the empty file. We need index.js empty file
Okay.
encoded. Right? So
Because we're not passing like a file name anywhere.
yeah,
It's just the whole thing is base 64 encoded.
right.
so it's got the file name and the content in the
I wonder if they have an example.
I like examples.
There's the auth part, which is very handy. There's some libraries to invoke their things. Libraries are great when you can import libraries. I mean, we technically can, but it's probably overkill for what we need. All right, so no, that's not handy. All right, so back to the page we were on. So now we need to, that's fine for now. And we'll just consume that here.
You didn't make any inputs or outputs yet.
Oh, gets me every time with this script thing. Like every time. Outputs. And you are an object. I don't think I care that it's an object. Like if I just pass a string, the object into a string, will that stringify it?
I don't know.
Yeah, or will it throw an error because the type doesn't match?
Because I don't actually need an object over here. I just need a, like a string in the form of an object. And you go down there, buddy.
Yeah, you go down there. Can't move it. Gotta delete and do it again.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the real estate. You can copy it, actually.
Yeah, I think you can.
You can.
You can copy it.
I think you have to click outside of it.
Listen to me, little box. I can copy you. All right. Well,
you have to somehow click at use the arrow keys.
I know in the the fields that accept multiple data pills, you
Mhm.
can definitely copy data pills
Yeah.
from within those. But this may only accept one. Yeah, this only accepts one. I don't think those are copyable.
I know that because I did Andrew's CreatorCon lab that has lots of data pills, and one of them I was like, I don't want to do this again. Can I copy it?
And you
Sure enough.
totally can, because those
Yeah,
were
especially if you're
multi-inputs.
drilling way in. It's like, okay, it's annoying on the data panel. It's less annoying with the data pill picker, but it's still annoying.
That's a really good idea. Megahertz there. Usually what we're trying to do is in the description, but we could definitely add in a text box that says like what our current to-do tasks are, like the overall goal and the tasks, and we could keep that hovered in like the top left of what we're doing. Like we could do that.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And I try and circle back around on what we're doing at points, but yeah, like that's wonderful suggestion, and we should and we will just totally do that. Not this second, but we will add that in. Maybe by the next stream tomorrow, I will have that added to our setup.
Kind of like a lower thirds.
Yeah, like just a little Todoist box, like what you know.
It'd have to be
what our
something that
goal
OBS
is.
has on there. The placement's going to be interesting, but we can get into that later.
Yeah, I'll probably just put it in the top left in OBS, just because usually we're not using that space very effectively anyway. The next thing to do is to go look at the ServiceNow APIs and for encoding a file. So that's the next step. I really do need to go take a break though.
Yeah.
Why don't Brad, you share the screen and pull open the API docs on encoding, because we definitely have several of those available, and walk us through that real quick, and then pick me back up in like 5 minutes when I come back, as soon as I can figure out how to stop sharing.
It is a bad day.
There it is. It wasn't in its usual spot.
I move mine around too because it gets in the way.
All right, I think now I am sharing.
Yes. Did you share with audio? We want to see that video.
I did not share with audio.
We'll
So I guess I'll reiterate what we're trying to do. Dev portal dev. This is the wrong instance. What I mean to be in is dev program dev. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is we have. Sorry, I'm confused as to why it didn't auto log me in. We have our developer blog. So let's just start back from the beginning here. Right. So we've got our developer blog that's hosted on the developer site, but it's kind of a custom built thing by developer advocates. And we do some local building, and then we deploy, and it builds itself and deploys to this instance. And we also manage in something we call Artifact Manager, which is just a ServiceNow app we have built in one of our dev program instances. We manage basically any content that we're going to create. So it could be this stream exists in Artifact Manager, blogs exist, videos that we're going to create. A lot of Chuck's stuff that he does exists in there. Blogs that I'm going to write. So it's just a way for us to track. This is what we're working on. Here's when we're going to publish it, and this is how it's going to get published. And so with our live stream, so we actually have a lot of automation going on where I create a live stream artifact in Artifact Manager, and I set it to a certain state, and then goes into YouTube and creates the, future event for our live stream. And then it comes back and updates an artifact manager. And we want to do something similar with the blog, because right now there's no automation in linking up our blog artifacts and artifact manager and our blogs that we write and deploy. So what we're wanting to do is, because our blog is deployed through Git, so we do it locally and then deploy to Git, and then that gets deployed into the instance. We want to have our artifact manager create basically our stub articles for us, and then that's a unique link that can link our GitHub blog with our artifact and artifact manager. So that's basically what we're trying to do here, is we're getting from our artifact manager in a ServiceNow instance, and we're trying to create a directory and a file in GitHub. And so we have the first little part of that done, and it looks like GitHub's API wants us to base 64 encode a file that we can send it. I think I covered everything. Does that sound right, Chuck?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to start. And
where do you want to start slicing this thing?
So right now we need to get some sort of base 64 encoded file and send it.
And I thought we could base 64 encode things. We have an API for that.
Yes. Well, let's see.
I don't use it often.
Andrew's back already.
I figured that explanation would cover it.
All right.
I just gave a really long-winded explanation on what we're trying to do here.
Sweet.
So,
oh, look at that, John.
And
Anderson.
then I Googled this.
Nice. John's awesome. I love
yes. John. And now my puppy is barking.
Oh.
Glide string util.
All right.
Should we include John Anderson?
I smell global scope only.
That's fine. I don't mind. I'm not scared of global scope.
No, it's just annoying when you're in a when you're in a scoped app and you try and do something and go, nah, not today.
That's where we create a pass-through script, global scripting.
So, yeah, I was
this is for a string.
When I went down. Well, so the first thing is, if we're doing we've got a couple of things here, and we don't have to be super generic. So if we're going to just pretend like it's a file, we could just craft the string that we're going to then encode that will equate to our file. In the other case, if we're going to actually grab like a ServiceNow attachment, we'll have to look up that attachment, then convert the attachment from how it's stored into, and we'll probably, well, if we were doing an external system, like I would, get a data streamer for that. We're not going to do that because we really just want to generate a file out of thin air and push it.
Yeah, and the only thing that is unique to every time we do this is really the directory that the file lives in, right? So the file itself, like, just needs to be an empty index.html file.
So
it can be the same every time.
Potentially what we could do is just create one of these files locally. So just create one in our repo locally, and then do that commit and like intercept that, like look to see what that is doing.
When you say look to see what that is doing, what do you mean?
Either change the connection or, I mean, Yeah, I was thinking about doing something like a B scepter in the middle, but that's a little bit of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we get. Wonder if you can inspect what the command, like if you run it locally, just from the command line, not from one of the tools, if you can see what that's sending. Ooh, how about we inspect the network packet when we upload a file to GitHub in the browser?
Oh, in the browser.
Because we'll have access to the network. We could debug that and look at the packet we sent, right? That's one way. I feel like I'm overcomplicating this.
I don't know. It feels like it should be really simple to
Is the
send.
file an attachment, or is the file coming from somewhere? Where are we getting this file?
We really would
file.
just like to create it.
Okay, we want to create an empty index.html file. That seems pretty static to me.
And
The
the
main
only
thing
thing that we care about is that we want to change what the directory is, because that's what we're after. Is
Yeah.
The directory on GitHub?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like a parameter. Are you talking about the directory or the repo?
The directory.
The directory.
Okay, so somewhere we're going to have like this repo of articles.
Yes.
And we're going to say this one goes in the April 2020 article folder. This one goes in the May 2020. You're going to have them structured in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that information coming from?
And so the way Git stores the directory information is only in relation to the files that are in it. Like, you don't create a folder in a repo.
Okay. You send it.
You create a file that's in a folder,
right?
And then when you commit that file,
gotcha. Yep. It's
part of
the whole commit process that it creates whatever it does over there that looks like it's in a folder.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a folder. It just doesn't do anything with folders until there's stuff in them.
Gotcha.
Trying to think what achievable thing we could actually get done.
Yeah.
It was easy until you got to the folder piece.
I might just do a little Googling real quick.
I'm going to bring up this glide string util on developer while we're doing that.
Okay.
Is it still there, and is it documented?
There it is. All right.
Scope and global.
Well, let's look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same in both.
Dot to underbar.
I guess that's useful.
I would have used a regex myself, but okay. Or a replace.
Escape all quotes. Escape for homepage. Escape HTML.
Good to know. Template. Sticks.
Shouldn't I have a...
Yes, it'll be down there. You got to scroll for it.
Ah, there we go. Is base 64.
Nice.
I want to go to base 64.
Okay, what was the method that was called in John's article?
Oh, I did not do a
base 64,
base 64 in code.
Did you see that in the list?
I did not.
Shocking.
Community.
2017. ServiceNow docs.readthedocs.io. Let's see. Glide sys attachment input stream. Packages.
Oh boy.
Huh.
And that was 5 months ago.
I mean, there's a couple of places packages is still useful.
Yeah.
Notice how he's calling Glide string util though. He instantiated
What do
it.
we use it for? At the very end, base 64 encode. Well, I mean, should we just
John's was a straight up call though. It wasn't instantiated. It didn't
I
prototype.
thought it was. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
You're
one of
right.
these two is wonky.
Should we see if this works?
Sure, why not? Go to scripts background, throw it in, see what happens. It could very well be that it is there, just not documented today.
How horrible do you want this to be, Brad?
That is such a scary question. What, what do you mean?
How would you like to die?
So the path that we're setting, so path is a parameter that we've already got in our flow. Pull up in the dev program dev, if you don't mind.
All right, let me take it over here and log in. Oh man.
And the reason that I say how horrible is because I don't actually care what's in the index file. I don't even care that there is an index file. I don't care if I send a valid base 64 file at all.
It's true. All we want is the directory.
All I want is the directory. And I assume, this might be an unreasonable assumption, but I think it might be reasonable, is I just set the path that I want it to be, and then I send it a content string, base 64 random string that I put in there. Or I could even get a valid, like I could generate a one-time string that just creates a index. So the thing I wasn't sure of is where it's getting the path from, and it's because that's a parameter. And I believe if you pull open the flow, that was already setting that.
Did you publish the flow?
No. And
So
it's an action, not a, yeah. So all I need in my REST app is to set the path, which is in the resource path up there. I've got the variable for path, but I haven't set it in the parameters yet. But if I set the path to be what I want, then I could just send over any old anything for the content.
Like we could just send John Anderson's name as base 64 here.
Yes.
All right.
Like, I think that'll work, actually.
Okay, so
we need to set a parameter for path, and then we need to set the.
so we need
a content.
add a new query parameter.
Was it query parameter?
Where are we?
Was it a
Or
query
content?
parameter? It was it was the content.
It's actually in the resource path. Is the path
Right
that we need
we had
to
to put
set.
the content. I was thinking about what the object looked like. We had a message, we had a committer that was a two-part object, and then we had a content itself.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot to put in a query parameter.
And so in the resource path, we're just going to put a data pill that's going to come either from our inputs or from our script.
All right. So we need an output. What is this for?
So
This is for
this is going to be coming from, this is probably coming from inputs is most likely where we're going to do the path, which is going to be a pathized version of the title of the record that we are dealing with, right? So
yes. So this would come from the artifact.
So it would come from the artifact, and we don't care about file name. We just care about the path.
So should we change this to file path?
Yeah. And then that becomes our data pill for putting into the rest steps.
Where did we go?
You want it mandatory?
Probably.
That seems reasonable.
And then I messed this up.
Nice. And then in our rest step, pull out the end of after contents and replace it with the data pill. And we're also going to need to give it the repo at some point, but we don't have to do that the second.
All right.
And then in the query parameters, we now need to, no, it's not the query parameters. This is going to be it's the body is
the content.
Content's going to be in the body, and we can just craft that directly, right? We don't need a big constructor or anything. Like,
doesn't matter, right?
We legit just need what? Content, colon, and then paste in your encoded string with quotes. And now I think we're getting eerily close to needing to get like credentials and trying this out. But I think this will work. And if we need to, generate a file and then encode it, like we can just get, I can do that with a web utility, is dropping an empty index file and get its encoding and just plop it in here, since I don't actually care what's in there. Like,
yeah.
And
yeah, I guess the goal of this is to create our unique connector, right? From our artifact to GitHub. All right. But we will need to pass owner and repo. Committer. Yeah.
Right. So we do, sorry, I was answering a question for the hackathon. This is the hackathon stream. So
that's right.
It came first. So we do need to get, so we know which repo it is. So you can go ahead and just fill that in directly, right? So.
Oh yeah, it's, I won't try to remember it.
That seems reasonable.
Well, I am gonna.
But it's ServiceNow Dev Program.
How is it?
So here is the, I've got it handy.
ServiceNow Dev Program. Am I on the right track?
Yeah. I've messaged you the exact thing so you can pull out the right parts.
I believe that is what I typed. Or do we need the tree production? Andrew, do we need the tree production content post? Pieces of the URL?
Those are going to be,
We got to tell it where to.
Tree production. So that the production is a branch and it's not the default branch. So that's set via parameter for GitHub. I don't think we can set it in the resource path. I think we have to pass that as a parameter. Yeah, so that's going to be branch.
Okay.
Branch and string in the parameters there.
So how do we tell it to go into the post directory? That part
That's
of the
going to
file
be
path?
part of the path, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll go before our file path. Data pill.
So how does this look? Should we give it a message?
Absolutely. Crap post message.
Demo.
Oh, wonderful, glorious message. And then I'm going to have to, if we're going to test this, I'm going to have to get credentials in there for this. But I think this is actually pretty close to what we need now. Like this is close. Let me go see if I can quickly get some OAuth credentials in here for you.
All right.
I am logged in. I'm logged in there. So let's get.
You can just read him the client secret.
Absolutely.
Yes, please. I'll just while it's shifting.
Is that an L or a 1? I can't tell.
You guys want to see how my smoke is going?
Absolutely. I'm gonna post a couple of pictures of mine
There we
here
go.
in a moment when we're done with the stream.
This is my public link if anybody wants to check on my pork
Oh,
butt
nice.
throughout the day.
Beautiful.
Oh, you got a significant little dip in there. That was when you went and checked it, huh?
It is. My fire was almost out, and I went and checked it, and then I added some more stuff, so I had it open for a while. It's like I may need to add another log here.
Yeah, you're trending downwards there.
Yeah. I try to be in between these two dotted lines here, 200 and 250.
Okay, so credentials.
Let's go back. So we created our object and assigned it to an output. And we are referencing that in this committer parameter. Should we give it some outputs?
That'd be nice. What are you thinking?
Oh. Let's see. There we go. Let's give it a
I'm almost there with the access.
We're just playing with the outputs.
That's fine.
Oh, and we just ran out of time. Please
Well,
deposit another 25 cents
please-
to continue
yeah.
your stream. That's a throwback for you kids who haven't used payphones. That was my first job out of college, writing software to communicate with pay telephones.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oddly enough, the product was called smartphone back in the 80s.
It's all
That was like
relative, right?
That was the kiss of death. If you named anything smart, anything, the product was just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's not under promising and over delivering.
Actually, it was pretty
Sweet.
fun. I came in on the
Mediocre
second
phone.
gen. I came in on the second gen product, so they knew everything that was broke that they needed to fix.
So I have a
So
token,
let's look at it.
but it doesn't think it's valid. Why don't you think my token is valid? When I look at the token thinks it's valid.
Chuck never paid for a Chuck never paid for a call on the payphone. The last one I saw was about 2006, 2007, out in the field. I showed my kids. They were pretty young at the time. I was like, look, kids, that's the product that got Dad his first job. They picked it up. They thought it was a novelty.
So we got a question. What is it that we're working on right now?
Flow Designer.
I'll try to sum it up. We are working on some automation for the dev program where we use our artifact manager, which is just a ServiceNow app where we manage content that different people in the dev program are working on, blogs, live streams, videos, all sorts of things. And we are looking to create a directory and file in GitHub from that ServiceNow app in the instance, because that'll be its unique identifier to identify our blog posts. So the reason the screen is static right now is because Andrew's
Waiting on
working behind
Andrew
the
to
scenes
work through
on
OAuth without having to flip back in between privacy and not privacy.
yeah.
And also getting it working. You know, the getting it working part.
Wow.
Is, all right, why? Do.
So let's do this. Just as a quick recap, we've got a script action step where we are creating this committer object and then outputting it. Then in our rest step, we have a few things going on, but we are consuming that committer object as one of our query parameters that we're going to pass GitHub. We are using their API to pass into our blog repo for the dev program. And then we are, giving a message. We're going to do it this in the production branch, I guess, because that's how we roll. And we had to pass it some sort of content here. So right now we're working on authentication.
All right. You there, go here. You there, go here.
I'll be right back. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is our own little mini hackathon we have going today. We've done a few different things, but right now we're just trying to add some automation that's going to help us out a little bit. So I think we're about halfway through the hackathon.
That feels about right.
We've got maybe 34 hours left. So maybe not quite halfway through yet. More than a third of the way through. Not a ton of questions so far after all the login things that we got through, but lots of plugin activations. A lot of teams are wanting to leverage a lot of the mobile capabilities, which is exciting.
All right, let's try this one more time. Credentials, aliases. Yeah, I'm not succeeding at getting my token to be happy. I'm probably going to have to turn off two-factor and smack it around a bit.
Okay.
So let's stop share and do a little wrap up.
All
and
right.
then when we come back, I'll have the token ready.
I'm back.
And welcome back.
All right.
Chuck.
Well, I will stop share here.
All right, and let's switch the screen just a teeny bit. All right, so what we were working on, as Brad said, is doing some automation between our instance and GitHub. We have a weird requirement where we want to create some folders, but we don't care what's in them. I think we're like really close, other than getting I got close on the token, but it's like 8 screens and one thing is wrong somewhere. So I've got a valid refresh token, but I can't get a valid like access token for some reason. So I'm doing something wrong, but I'm close on getting that. So I will finish that up and get us access, and then we'll be able to, when we come back, the next show we do, we'll be able to try out what we built and see if it works. I'll also look at to see which, like just encoding, base 64 encoding a index. What is it? Is it even index HTML, or is it index like J? Is it index?
It is an index HTML. You're thinking components are index.js.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yes.
components. I'm like, those are index.js, right?
I was even further back in the process thinking of Markdown.
That's another good one. Oh wait, so, they may be Markdown. I think it's index.
We author them in Markdown.
Yeah, but I don't believe they're marked. Oh, it is in.
I think it is Markdown.
Is it?
We were all wrong.
we're Chuck is the winner then.
Yeah.
Oh, written 2 articles. Come on, guys.
We're in there all the time. We don't look at they're auto generated for us. It's not like I ever have to type .md. But yeah, you're right. It is index.md.
It is MD.
Which makes sense because it's doing, markdown formatting and syntax checking for me. And the way it knows to do that is it's an MD file. I should have gotten there myself. Thank you, Chuck.
We would have figured it out sooner or later.
So what I was saying is I might just take that through an encoder, just smack it in a utility real quick and not worry about the ServiceNow part of it because we don't actually care what's in that file.
Yeah.
But so I'll just get a templated one that just says, you definitely need to replace me and draft is true and and encode that. And then we can have it statically in there because it doesn't need to be adjusted. So I think we're close on that. Well, thank you guys. That was so much fun. And if you're out there doing the hackathon and you were following along, I hope your endeavor is going even better than ours is. Because ours is mostly for fun. Like it's a little annoying to paste in the URL for the blogs, but it is, all of the things that we have needed to automate, it is so far down the list. It's not even like the sprinkle of salt on the top at the finish. Like it is complete fluff at this point. It's like sprinkling a glitter on top of it. Like it's just there for show at this point. But that was good. And I'll walk through the OAuth bits once I'm not trying to put in client secrets and things onto the screen. Because if I have to reset my GitHub, like 20 things will break and I will be very sad. So we're going to keep that off the stream. Thanks, everybody.
Right.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Brad. And thank you all of you hackathon participants out there who are watching this live. And if you're here later, you'll get to see who won the hackathon, which will be even more exciting. Have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.